it is Thanksgiving Eve here in Nebraska, and she's kind of chilly. We're reading about 30 degrees on the thermometer here in the shed, so we're not right in the open, but I do have the door open. We've got some mamas. It's about ready to start kidding. I want to say Shayna said next Tuesday we could start hitting some due dates, so we'll probably start watching for Grace. I believe that's the most recent picture Shayna posted of a goat on our Facebook page. We'll work on getting our website a little more up to date. We've spent more time here, Facebook, Instagram. So we'll work on that if you guys are looking on that. We need to get some better pictures of some of the animals and some things like that, but we'll try to make that a good resource for you guys coming up. Let us know if you'd like to see something posted there. We used to kind of have a little bit of a blog, but it was nothing outstanding. It was just a couple projects, little quick write-ups on things, medicine cabinet, stuff like that. That was all before we started this, so now we could just bring it to you here. But if you guys would like to see something like that back on the website, just let us know, and maybe we could bring that back, and that way you guys would have a direct reference to any of the stuff we talk about. But anyway, I've got another bale I brought in here. Since we're so close to kidding, Shayna is anxiously pacing the windows, whether it be middle of the afternoon or at night once the kids are in bed, waiting for Grace or one of these other does to kid out. So since Grace, Spotty, and Fanny have access to this kidding shed, I'm going to break that bale open, give them a little more bedding here where we don't have the pins set up. And that way, if somebody would have the smarts to come in here out of the cold or the direct cold, at least they'll have a nice, dry, freshly bedded spot. Here we see, this is a Premier One carbon fiber 600-watt lamp. We bought 2 of these to test them out. I just loosely tied one up here to the rafter. I don't think they're going to work for what we wanted to do with them. We basically wanted to use one of these to try to replace a couple 2 or 3 heat lamps, like maybe emit enough heat. I don't have enough power to pull multiple 1200s on the same string on each side, so we were going to try a couple 600s. They're not going to work for that, so we're going to exchange these. I've talked to Premier One. We're going to exchange these for some of the Prima heat lamps, and then we'll I don't know, maybe we'll try out some of their little more expensive bulbs. They've got a nicer socket design to them, but they're about $13 a pair versus a standard $4 bulb at the farm store. But these do have an on-off switch, and I'll see if I can do this. So we'll kick it on. I don't want to run this too long since we're going to return this. We've only used it for... It's maybe run for 20 minutes, but I've got it at 6 foot. Well, I would say where the hood is probably 5.5 feet off the ground, and I can feel heat. My hand is nice and cold because I've had my glove off holding the phone, but I can probably feel heat down at around the 3 foot mark. But I'm just going to say it's not a ton. I know a lot of people use these in brooders or chicken scenarios, or Premier One uses them in some of their lambing scenarios, like orphan pens and stuff. But in this shed, where it's only a little insulated, it's not heated or anything, it's not going to make up enough heat for where we need it. So we get the mamas in here. It generates some decent heat in here. We keep a stock tank in here, so that way if we need to dip water for buckets or something, if everything's froze up, then we've got it. And it hardly ever freezes, maybe a slight skim of ice on top. So the body heat in here with this plastic and stuff does good. But if I had the money to keep these on hand this year, I don't know, maybe Shayna will be good to me. I would probably keep both of these lamps and maybe upgrade and order. I want to say they're maybe around $25, $28. I don't know, somewhere in there. Between $25 and $30 for these bulbs. I'd maybe upgrade to the 1200s and move them to the weaning sheds. That way there was a good decent amount of heat, just enough to take the edge off if the baby's laid under it. But I just want to show you here quick before I shut it off. We're going to, there you go. There's your tip. And it automatically shuts off. And as it recenters, you hear it click and it comes back. So that's a super nice feature. The housing up here at the top is really nice and heavy duty. And as most of you know, if you're using lamps, they don't have that on and off switch. So that's cool. So you're not just plugging in them and unplugging them all the time. If you order these, the bulbs, treat them just like the headlights in your vehicle. Have a set of gloves or cloth or something on. Do not touch that bulb with your oily hands. It's got a nice cage on it. So it's got one piece looped in the back, kind of to let it hinge. And then on this side, if you can see it, the cage is split. And so you bring it together. And then there's almost like a little wing nut with a little piece of bar. And that is what locks these two little tabs in there to hold them in. It just kind of pressure locks them in. So not too bad. They've got a flat plate in the bottom. So no direct heat. It radiates a little bit back out. It's taking the edge off me right here, but like I said, they're not going to work for this scenario. So not a real big review, but I just figured I'd touch on these. The Prima heat lamps are like $39, and these, God, if I remember right, maybe $68 or something like that. Check Premier One. If you don't know about Premier One, check them out. They got a lot of great stuff for goats and sheep and chickens and stuff like that. We'd like to start implementing a few more of their things. I really like the design of their creep gate. We have the North Star Boer Goats creep gate. And the problem with the North Star Boer Goats one, I believe that's the name of it, if I get that wrong, but it doesn't have a height adjustment. It's just a width adjustment. You can pull bars out and move them and stuff like that. But we'd like to try one of their creep gates here before long. I'm going to get this shut off because, like I said, we're going to return these just because they're not going to fit our need right now. But I'll probably honestly end up buying them next year or something like that as things start working out. But anyway, I'm going to get this spread. And yeah, just check in on our Facebook page, the website. You know, we'll get that up to date. You know, let us know if you want to see anything on there in a permanent state. But I'm sure Shayna will update you guys as soon as babies start hitting the ground. So stay tuned. Just a few days.